Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, in our continuing study in Paul and the Faithfulness of God, published by Fortress Press by N.T. Wright. We're going to look at our little triad recap of our lesson on the retold story of the Pharisees, but it's just a little mini recap to help us recall that information better. If you look at the chart, we're going to start with block 1 and the Apocrypha and Israel's frustration. And they were frustrated because of their elongated exile under Roman oppression. The Genesis Apocrypha document ended up being closely aligned with the Pharisee-Zelotes movement, Bet Shammai Zealot movement of the Pharisees. And the Jews took up Deuteronomy's final chapters and reread them as relevant to first century Jewish oppression under Rome. They took up a rereading of Deuteronomy. Now in block 2 we look at the concrete new expression of Israel's future. During the first century there was the Book of Wisdom, the Biblical Antiquities, the Testament of Moses, all appearing in the first century. The parousia was expected to appear as wrath and promised new creation, as wrath and judgment against Rome and promised new creation. The Pharisees took up a history as revealed in Jubilees or dispensationalism. They took up a view of dispensationalism, and they were expecting the new age to come when Rome would be overthrown and when one like unto the Son of Man would be raised up out of Judea as militant leader, according to the Shammai Pharisees. In block 3, we have the rereading of Deuteronomy, and this shift over into dispensations led to adopting the Psalms of Solomon for the Pharisees. They expected a concrete and historical world leader to emerge out of Judea, and Deuteronomy was looked at as speaking of first century oppression under Rome for the Pharisees. They anticipated and expected a dramatic, apocalyptic, vertical cutting into history by the living God, where the wrath of God would come in judgment against Rome, and new creation would be an egeiro, uplifting resurrection power that would raise up Israel, and the doxa glory of God would enter the temple once again and purge it of the defilement of Rome. So all of this was in Saul's mindset prior to conversion. This was in Saul's mindset. It was a teaching he had received from Gamaliel and the Hillel Pharisees, and also from teachings of the Shammai Pharisees, the more militant branch. But all of this was very much a part of Saul's mental state. He was frustrated as a diaspora exiled Jew. He was frustrated over the corruption of the temple by Rome. And so he was looking for this dramatic apocalyptic breaking into history by Israel's God, where the temple would be purged, the doxa glory would re-inhabit the temple. All part of Paul's Pharisee concrete identity. Gives us just a little bit of a recap and helps us to get a better picture here in just a real brief little triad, but that's going to wrap up that entire section on the retold story of Israel on pages 109 to 131. We'll pick up on 132 next time.